that
Live
we
everywhere
have.
now.
We're live everywhere now. Oh no. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No
Now we are.
stinking warning.
Now we are. Well, I gotta
No
keep you on your
stinking
toes. I
warning, man.
gotta keep you on your toes.
That's insane. So I gotta, all right. So
Sorry.
I'm like all discombobulated now. You didn't give me a warning. A no warning shot. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so I think today is light. So we're pre-show mode now. We're pre-show mode
Yeah,
now.
we're in pre-show mode.
Oh, look. I could see myself. It looks better. It looks better. What do you think?
I like it. I didn't get to hook mine up yet though.
Yours is not ready yet?
No, because I just landed like 3 hours ago,
Hmm.
and then it was like pouring rain. Like
Okay.
well, it's still pouring rain, but it was just storming. So once, even after I checked my mail and did whatever last minute errands I had to do, I
Right.
still sat in my car in front of my apartment for a good, I don't know, 30 minutes before the
Because.
rain would let go. Like,
Oh,
well, not
got
let
it,
go,
got
but
it.
let up. It was just pouring really bad.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I saw the Instagram post that you had up for that. I was like, wow, that's intense. It's intense. That's intense. So yeah, so I know we can't necessarily talk about the stuff yet, but like really this time, I think we're gonna get out of here within the hour. What do you think? Because look at it.
I say hour 20.
Look at it. I think this is really a tight ship today.
It's okay, hour 20.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you look refreshed. You look like you had a lot of fun. I know we're not really talking about it yet, but you look like you had a lot of fun. Saw some peeps, right?
Yeah, it was
Good
really
times.
good.
Good times.
So,
Saw some exhibitor people, right?
yes, I
Good
did.
times. I'm looking forward to that conversation. Um, word. I'm ready to jump in right now. I'm ready. I feel like we haven't
I
recorded in like 3 weeks. I'm like so excited.
And it's only just been one day. We're
My
only like
goodness.
missing it by one
It
day.
feels weird now. It feels weird now because I'm sitting here. I'm thinking, okay, so what do I do with myself?
Get the show
We're
notes
supposed to
ready.
be we're supposed to be live and recording right now. This is showtime, go time. But no, you're off like, doing stuff at TwitchCon. I'm sitting here like crying my heart out, trying to figure
Crying
out
your heart out. Oh my god.
trying to figure out if I'm ever gonna have another show again. No, but it was cool. Yesterday was chill time. I took that time to reflect on changes for the show, tighten up the ship where we can, make adjustments, and definitely appreciate the shout out that you gave during the podcasting panel that you went to, which we're not necessarily talking about yet, but we're going to talk about soon. So that was cool. I appreciated that. That was fun stuff. I
That
like
was
that.
actually fun to sit there and watch it with you in a way, even though you weren't with me.
Word. I was like, I need to be there somehow. In spirit. I was there in spirit via text.
And you
I
know
was like,
what's
okay,
funny is that is pretty much the best reception I probably had the entire time I was in that
what do you mean?
convention center. My
Oh.
reception was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I
Okay, so
feel
your
so
best
bad.
reception was in that room?
Yeah, because everywhere
Nice.
else, like, that one was closest to the entrance and it was on the second floor. If you went further in on the showroom floor, like I had 2, 3 bars, fine, which is more than anybody else had if they weren't a Verizon,
Right.
but I couldn't get no messages, which made
Well,
meeting up with people, finding people, coordinating meetups next to impossible for me.
mm,
Ah, it was so hard, but it was so good.
all right.
So like
I
being
think I'm
able to
a
talk to you, that it was good.
No, it was good. I'm glad I got a chance to experience that because I didn't look at the schedule for Twitch in regards to their panel and stuff. And once you mentioned that to me, I was like, you know what? I really want to know what the individuals who are broadcasting on a regular basis, their video and what how they're incorporating podcasting into their platform. And I think we're probably just going to start the show because I think I'm ready to talk.
Oh yes, we are.
I think I am. I think I'm
Let's
ready
do
to talk.
this.
You ready? You should start it today. You should. You should do
Hey,
the
that's.
intro
Oh
today.
man. Okay, now I gotta go find your intro. I
You
can't do
want
this.
to?
You can't. No, no, no.
Why not? I
I'm
gotta
not
have fun. I gotta
ready.
keep you
I'm
on the
not
edge.
ready.
You're a pro podcaster now. I gotta
No,
head.
I'm not
You know,
ready.
you're not ready?
No.
Oh man. All right, cool. All right, so let me. All right, so let's do this. Episode 375, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's do it. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the show radio. This is episode 375. I am your host, Andrew.
Hey guys, I'm Danny.
And this is your source for tech, gaming, and entertainment news. Head over to theshowradio.info and check out our past shows. While you're there, subscribe and tell a friend about the show. Excited for 375. Daniella's back from TwitchCon. I'm back from NAB Show and Amplify. She was out there in Cali. I was over here in New York doing the thing. So Daniella, talk to us. What's up? And then we'll get into the TwitchCon stuff and the NAB stuff and all that.
I'm so excited about some things this week. Just like taking everything that I learned at TwitchCon, the people that I met from TwitchCon, and going forward on that. But on top of that, I got some really amazing things to review and check out. Um, and one thing that was not sent to me for review purposes, but I'm going to review anyways. Eventually, is South Park's The Fractured But Whole. I feel like I have to. Anytime I say that,
It's
I
the
have
name
to
of the
have.
game. It's
I
the name
know,
of the game.
I know
So you
it's the
can't
name of the
necessarily.
game, so it's right here. I picked it up today.
Nice.
So I'm super excited.
Do you have the first one? I think
I do have
one,
the
right?
first one, and I played the first one, and I liked it a lot, and it really touched my very immature 12-year-old self. So
Okay.
I'm very excited. That wasn't sent to me for review purposes, so I did actually purchase this on my own, which I'm happy. And I was bummed at the same time because when I went to TwitchCon, they had a booth and you can stream the game from there, but
Right.
it was next to impossible to get onto the streaming list. Ugh.
Okay. Okay. So you didn't go into any I'm trying not to laugh when I'm saying it. So you didn't go into like meetups that were pre-planned by some Twitch superstars?
No. No.
No,
I'm gonna go
not.
stand in that line. No.
You didn't go stand that line. Did you
No, I
see a
didn't.
few of those lines or no?
I did, and the area for the meet and greets were so incredibly huge. Like they could have been reduced to half the size and expanded the showroom floor for the creative section for all the exhibitors. And they did it. It was just like this huge empty space when you went towards the back of the hall. It was just this huge empty space, and there might be maybe one or two streamers on Twitch that could possibly fill up even half of that. One of them would be Soda Poppin', and probably the other one would be Dr. Disrespect. Other than that, like all the other streamers that I would see up there that would say, hey, they'll be here at this time. I feel bad at the same time because some of them will have maybe 10 to 20 people, which of course, if it was me, that's 10 or 20 more people than I would have. But still, you have like this giant area and you have 10 or 20 people that are going to stand in line to meet up with you, which you could have if you really, really cared about your viewers that much. You could have just been like, hey, I'm going to be at this food truck. Let's go eat lunch together. And it probably have been a greater and better experience for them. That's my opinion, though.
Okay, so was this San Francisco?
What is that?
Where was it? San Francisco or where was it?
No, Long Beach.
It was Long Beach. Okay.
Long Beach. I wish it.
Okay,
I hope
so
next year is in San Francisco.
walk me through Daniella's trip. Walk me through day one.
Okay. Day one.
up?
Okay. Well, I can go. I can
Well, you
start
got
from
day
day
zero?
zero or day -1 because I got there
Okay.
Wednesday. The convention started on Friday. I had to think about that. I'm so lost
right.
in
That's
my
okay.
days right now. But yeah, we landed there on Wednesday. I was very fortunate enough to go to Santa Ana. I got to check out the esports arena and attend Wednesday night fights where they had tournaments going on for Street Fighter 5, Tekken. They had, of course, they had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and that was like the huge thing that was going on. That was really cool. And then from there, I think I spent Thursday kind of relaxing, getting adjusted to the different, like the difference in the 3 hours. 3 hours isn't that much, but like I knew I was gonna have some long days ahead of me, so I kind of had to recalibrate myself to deal with that. I got to meet up with some amazing friends, and we went out to dinner. We hung out, and one of my friends, I don't want to call him a viewer or sub or anything like that. He's a really good friend. He's a really awesome dude. Mock. So shout out to Mock for hanging out with us pretty much the entire weekend and just being down for whatever it is that we were gonna go and do. Bless that man's soul. Because some of it was some really, really long things. But going into day one of TwitchCon was probably the most unorganized disaster I have ever been a part of.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So from the parking structure, we exit out of the parking structure, and you see this ginormous, huge line of people just wrapping around. And as you got closer to the entrance to that, it was just there, like the line just ceased to exist. It was just a horde of people standing around this door waiting. It was very quick to get our badges. It was really nice. It was actually for affiliates and just regular Twitch goers, not even partners. It was faster for us to get our badges than it was for the partners, which is really kind of sad. And they had goodie bags, but there was like no, like it wasn't like they gave the goodie bags to you at the same time you got your badges, which made no sense because they did that last year. It's like, here's your bag, here's your swag bag, see ya. But
what was in the goodie bag?
It was a fanny pack. You got a booklet about what's going on, the events, some coupons for different vendors in there. You got a mixer shake cup with a Twitch logo. And I know there was a couple of smaller other things there, which I think last year's was better only because last year's bag came with deodorant, and some of those attendees really needed that deodorant.
That's a thing, right?
Yeah, like I don't know why some people don't shower. I don't know what's up with that, but you need some deodorant. I'm sorry. Last year they were super smart on it. They put that in your bag, and I'm like,
that's sad that they have to put a deodorant in the bag to give you to, hey, you guys, you should use that.
And,
okay.
But yeah, there was like no clear direction. So when I asked them, I was like, hey, I knew we were supposed to get the little fanny pack thing. They were like, oh, we don't give you anything else. Well, ask them, like, where do you get it? I don't really know. You should go ask information. Except I didn't know where information desk was. And then I knew that the partners, they get their own little goodie bags, and they didn't even tell where the partners were to go to get any of their goodie bags. Basically, if you saw somebody who had something that you didn't have, you had to ask them where to go and get it, and they would give you like the worst sense of directions ever. And the map that came on the Twitch Events app was really bad. And here's the sad part. So this massive line that we
Wait,
came
what you just said was not the sad part?
No, it was okay. There's a hashtag that's being associated with TwitchCon or TwitchCon 2017, and it's just called LineCon. And that's the sad part. That was the sad part because everything, it was a line, and it wasn't even a clear line. It was just like you're there in this horde. But when we got there, there was no way that I was going to be standing out in the sun because some of these people said they were waiting in that line for 3-4 hours. And I'm like, you kidding me? And so when it came to the time where it says that the showroom floor was going to be open to the public, nobody was moving. The doors weren't open. They weren't allowing anybody in. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm checking like Twitter. People are taking pictures inside. I'm like, how are these people inside? Where is it? Well, apparently apparently there was another entrance on the other side of the building that they shows it wasn't located on the map anywhere saying that was an entrance. There's no sign saying here's the other entrance. It was just like everybody assumed that this was the main entrance because that's where everybody was. And it was one of the entrances, but it was also one to the H1Z1 arena, which majority of those people didn't know that because half of those people wanted to go to the H1Z1 and the other one just wanted to get in.
All right,
But
so that's
nobody
a
was
PC
doing
only
anything.
game right now, right? The H1Z1, that's PC only right now, right?
I think so. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't play. I think
So
it is
this
only
line,
PC.
so this line was just to go inside.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it was so bad. We stood out there for almost an hour thinking that this was the only entrance. It got to the point where I just got tired of just standing around and waiting. So we decided to go and explore and walk around. And if that did not happen, we wouldn't have found that other entrance, which literally had no line. None. And I'm like, why didn't they put the badges on this side? Why didn't they say, hey, here's another entrance? Anything.
Right.
No, nothing. So it was like lucky we found out for the rest of the time that is the main entrance that we went through because it was a lot faster to get through. And it was nice. It was nice inside. There were definitely some things that did improve the merch store. I like the way they handled it. It was better this year than it was last. Last year was like you stand in line and you got to see what they had based off of like pictures, not even really good pictures. And if you're lucky, when you got at the front of the line, like they'll give you like a little piece of paper, check what you want. They'll go and check to see if they have it, come back to you. No, sorry, we don't have it. This year there was still a long line. I think majority of the people that I know, including myself, waited maybe an hour to get into the store. And it was like a normal store. They gave you a little bag, grab the stuff that you want. You didn't have to wait on the staff to go run in the back, grab your stuff, come back out, tell you, oh, we don't have this. It was like pretty much grab what you want. And people weren't being crazy about it. They weren't hoarding tons of like shirts or anything like that. And they had a really good variety. You go stand in yet another line to go and make your purchase. And it wasn't that bad. It was very tolerable.
Right.
And I can't say I was actually too impressed so much with what they had on the showroom floor. The biggest booth there was Lineage, which I wasn't like the booth, the stage, and everything they had. It was big. It was beautiful. It was really cool.
Okay, so what is Lineage?
It's like
who do not know. Like myself.
it is this mobile game that I don't know how to fully explain because it didn't really pique my interest. It was kind of weak at the same time. I'm really gonna be really bad at explaining
Is it
what this game
RPG,
is.
platformer, Metroidvania type? Is it Final Fantasy like? Is it
No, it's like
what is it?
MOBA. I think it was 30 versus 30.
Like Paragoni like with a
Yeah.
slice
Or it could be, what is that? Like, kind of like Vainglory?
battle royale-ish?
Yeah, because I believe it was 30 versus 30. I have to go back and look at this about how many because they had a huge
1 versus 29?
stage for it. No.
It was like 30 on 30?
Yes, and it was
Okay.
all a mobile game. And so if you signed up, you can be on stage to compete.
What's up, Hunters? How you feel?
This does not look like the game that I was playing here. I'm sorry, I'm looking up the Googling this thing, and I'm like, that does not look like the game that looked nearly as interesting as
enjoy it at
what
all?
I touched or
Did you
played.
say?
I did. They had some that was off of the stage to play with, and it just did not hit me the way that I thought it would. And I saw a lot of people just want to go and play it just to be on the stage, but it didn't hold their interest to continue playing it or moving on. I was like, okay, this is a cool thing. That's kind of it. And that's how I felt about it. It's like this big stage for something that didn't seem that fun to play.
Okay.
And
So
that's
were there
my personal opinion. I'm sorry for anybody else that did.
Okay, were there a lot of games on the show floor to play? And I think I saw
Yes,
some
there
Oculus
was.
stuff.
Yes, there
Yeah,
was.
just
I didn't get to try the Oculus stuff. I saw it. It looked really fun, but it had a long line to play. Omen, they had a giant booth. I wanted to participate in this so badly because they had a 40-man duo PUBG tournament going on.
nice.
And they would only allow so many people in the day. And I was told it was okay. I was told that they were only going to have a couple matches or tournaments for the day, and then it was just down to one. And then someone said that the max limit was 200. No matter what it was, I always missed the line. I was like always just on the outside of the cutoff to be able to sign up for it. And it has to be, it wasn't as big as the Lineage booth, but it was so much more impressive because it almost reminded me of that game show One versus, I think, 99 or
100?
100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so you have these PC stations set up for the duos, and it's like it's double decker, like cutoff rooms. I don't know how to set up. It's like they have their duo, so you have two PC setups, and then they're stacked on top of another just to have
Hmm.
those 40 all around, and it's being commentated. It was being put very much into that esport likeness that I think personally, because I like PUBG, should have had a bigger presence than H1Z1. But everybody was so like, once those doors opened up for the day, people were just running in to sign up to be in that. And I don't blame them because I was one of them. Wasn't lucky enough for it, but it was definitely a very impressive booth. And it was very, as big as it was kind of very secluded at the same time because you have this giant arena opening, but there's a wall that kind of blocks it up from people who are just walking by, and they had it set up so that people can sit in and watch the competitions.
Hmm.
It was definitely very, very cool, and I so wish I could have signed up. It looked like a lot of fun. The H1Z1 arena looked cool too. It was obviously the biggest thing that was there, that it had its own section. But
Yeah, why do you think that is? And it wasn't PUBG, since maybe PUBG is allocating funds for the marketing push for November, maybe for the Xbox stuff.
I think I personally really think that H1Z1 is trying to just bring people back to want to play their game, because as soon as PUBG hit, obviously that did so well. It blew up and people liked PUBG because it did things better than H1Z1 did. And you have games like Fortnite's Battle Royale that also came out that people are being attracted to
Yeah,
as
I've tried
well.
that. It
So
was all right.
yeah, it is a pretty good game. So you have people who are leaving H1Z1 because for a long time, H1 held that, that crown for being that go-to BR game, and now it isn't. So I feel like they're just dumping some money into it, trying to bring people back to want to play it, and making this huge showcase of this. I place looked cool, but there's nothing really interesting about it. I didn't really care. I didn't even hear anybody on the floor really talking about it at all. Some people even forgot that it was even there.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, right, that's it. I guess I should go and check it out." But you had you had I think, and from what I viewed and what I experienced and from what I overheard for conversations and talking to people attending, there's more people who are interested in watching PUBG. So I think that says a
Wow.
lot, and I think if PUBG continues with that trend, or even if Fortnite overtakes that, I think come next year, for a lot of events, you're going to see a lot more things happening for those two games.
Interesting.
But other than that, there were some games, there were some things to try out. Um, but as a streamer and as a podcaster, they didn't interest me to want to go check them out so much. I was more interested in finding out the different vendors that were offering new things that were coming out to improve your stream. I was looking at companies who are looking for, kind of like brand ambassadors who want to help streamers and, have that mutual benefits for the company and the streamer. And I was far more interested in that than anything else. Like, I can always play a game. I can always download a game. I can always try this demo out at home. But to be able to talk and create those relationships with exhibitors, that you can only really experience and build that like solid foundation in person. And that's what I took away from it all. And even being able to meet other fellow streamers and possibly collaborate with them, more important to me.
Very cool. So that's day 0 into day 2, 3. What day are we at right now?
Oh, that is day 2 and 3.
Okay, fair enough. So overall, besides the lines and all that stuff, if we are overalling and recapping your whole thing, or if you have more, just keep me.
That was kind of it. It's definitely a very interesting and very different feeling, obviously, than E3.
Okay.
Even meeting some people that I met at E3 and at TwitchCon, it was almost a different mindset. So I came across Thaddeus from Astro.
Okay. My dude.
Yeah, he was really Fletch too. It was Thaddeus and Fletch. And the thing is, I didn't even run across them at TwitchCon itself. It was just, I happened in literally the middle of the night. I think it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were walking around outside on the street. And we just happened to come across them, and talking to Thaddeus. And it's like, I was amazed to see that he was there, but there's no Astro booth. So they were there to just, kind of, I guess.
Did he make the connection between the two of us? Or?
Yeah, they did. And he remembered.
Oh, snap.
So that was cool. Snap. That was really nice. And we talked about, your interview and you guys, what you did together the week before about the A20s.
Word.
And some, loose talk about Logitech, about Astros and how, I guess they're more of their lack of presence, I guess, on the showroom floor. But that's like a whole logistics thing between companies, between people who run the event. It was still nice to come across them. But it's like they had that business mentality, but at the same time, it's kind of like they were just saying what TwitchCon can offer, because this is only their 3rd year. It can still grow. It still has a lot of growing pains to go through, actually. And it's like a learning experience every single year.
Okay, so one of the main questions I have for you is what's the difference between last year? Because you went last year also, right?
Yeah, last year I didn't have that whole mentality of thinking about, I guess, my brand as a streamer. Because I didn't know what to expect. I still think in a way that TwitchCon is a very unique and different experience compared to any con that you can possibly go to. And last year was just more of me exploring and seeing what was there. And that's where I fell in love with the game that I am addicted to now, called Breakaway. Right. And they had a huge presence last year, and they had literally 0 presence this year. That was very bizarre to me. It's very interesting to have a game from Amazon Game Studios, of which Amazon owns Twitch, and to have no presence at Twitch.
It's interesting.
And I'm just like, okay. But, Amazon Games is still really awesome. They knew that the community that fell in love with them last year at TwitchCon was very sad to not see them this year. So they still set up a private event over at the Rock Bottom and invited the core community and whoever loved their games to go and eat and, nice. and drink with them and, chat with the devs. And that was really cool. And that was really awesome to be able to, just in a casual setting, talk to them about the game we love, see what's going to be happening going forward, and giving our ideas and our opinions. And that's always nice. It's still weird to not have them on the showroom floor. But that was the biggest difference, is that I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of just went there as a fan rather than a streamer last year, and this year I went more of like that business oriented streamer, like what is out there to help me.
Right.
So, and there's actually a lot, and I think one of the biggest things I hope changes in the coming years with TwitchCon is that they do offer more of those services, and there's more exhibitors or developers out there that create programs or overlays that help streamers, whether you're using Mixer, YouTube, or Twitch, improve what they have. And there was one company that stuck out to me a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to talking and working with them, hopefully.
Word.
And yeah, it was really cool. It was very different. It's a better use, I guess, a little bit better use of space than last year, because I feel like they used majority of the convention center. Because last year was at San Diego Convention Center, and that place is huge, but they only had half of it, and it felt tiny. This one, Long Beach Convention Center, definitely felt bigger, and a better use of space. Is just very lack of organization and direction, and having staff that knew where to find something, where something was at, or how to help you. I got a lot of like, I'm sorry, I don't know. But it's good. And then yeah, that was kind of it. If I had to give the whole convention overall grade, I'm gonna say 7.5.
That's still relatively good.
It is, but it was like
about changing it.
it is like I'm like the only thing that would make it like an 8 for me is, again, the staff. Having the staff know what was going on at this event that they're working would be great. Even the ones that said Twitch staff on it, I still got, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't know? But
Interesting. But overall, good times.
Yeah, good times. The people that I came across was amazing. I had almost no reception or any good reception in there. Very lucky to like, I found Andrea, I found Will or Black Oni, Amanda. She was awesome. She's always a delight to talk to. Razer, and oh, and I got to see Rabbit.
She wakes up like that.
She is like, I swear, by like day three, I didn't want to bother her too much because she was working at the Razer booth. So every time I walked past her booth, even on day 3, she was like this ray of sunshine, so incredibly happy, stoked to be talking to me about this. And I'm over here like, baby, it hurt. I'm tired. I lost my voice.
Amanda, you saw Abby too?
Yes,
Abby?
I saw Abby. She was a delight as well, and she was giving out her artist cards, and I missed it too because she has this, hey Tiger, she has this onesie, this bear onesie, and I guess it's her thing on her stream, and like
she had it at the show.
She had it at the show, and she was wearing it, and I guess I missed her just before she went to go and change it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I would have loved to have taken a picture with you wearing your bear onesie. And now that Tiger Climbs Mountain is in chat here, he has been one of my personal mods for my channel for almost 6 years now, and I finally got to meet him for the first time, and that was awesome. That was a great experience. So it's things like that about Twitch, which isn't directly related with the con, that really actually make the con everything. It's the people, always the people. And even if they couldn't like physically attend the con, if we could meet up outside, oh my goodness, it still makes the whole trip, the whole convention worth it for me.
Nice. Yay. Shout out to all the peeps. So New York, Jacob Javits Center. We had this thing called NAB Show, and they also had the Amplify convention. They're like 2-in-1. So I didn't realize it was 2-in-1 until day 2. So typically when I go into these conventions, expo things. Day one for me is the scouting day, right? I'm looking everywhere, everything is laid out, trying to see, faces, maybe familiar faces, easy routes to go in and out of the convention center. Second day is when I change mode. I shift gears into, yeah, now it's time to connect, grab all the cards before I get out of here. So it was actually 2 days. It was Thursday. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday. But it was 2 days. I was there for both days for the NAB show Amplify. And I didn't know what to expect because it was the first time I was attending this kind of expo. Right, they've had it for a couple of years now. Same thing. I think they usually have the bigger one in Las Vegas. I hear it's like 3-4 floors or whatever. But essentially, you have the NAB show, which is the National Association for Broadcasters. I think that's what that is. And the Amplify is where all the mixers, studio equipment is set up on that stuff. Microphones and all that stuff is on the Amplify side. Major broadcasting units, TVs, big cameras, podiums, tripods, those kind of things were at the National Association for Broadcasters. So at first it felt a little overwhelming, a little bit, because it was my first time there. I think that's why it was really overwhelming. And I didn't know exactly how to navigate the actual floor. And I think by day two, I was really good. I was back in my space, in my groove. But for the most part, I was there to see who was going to be there. So they had lighting people there. They had handheld camera people there. They had the Canons. I believe Canon was there. I don't know if Nikon was there. I don't recall any Nikon stuff. They had a lot of satellite people there, a lot of live streaming, big budget studio equipment stuff there. And I didn't know anybody, and it felt great. I think that anonymity, if you will, for me was great because I didn't necessarily have to stop to speak to anybody during my day two mode. Day one would have been cool to do that, but day two, I think I would have probably like, yeah, I got to go get some stuff done or anything like that. So overall for me, some of the panels are really good. Really, really good. I sat in a panel with Rob Walsh from Libsyn and Steve Goldstein from Amplify Media. That panel was good. It was talking about podcasting. They also gave some stats about a lot of podcasts don't make it past episode 10. So it was a numbers game for me because I think people are surprised that when I tell them how long we've been around, they're kind of thrown back by that, which is great. So that was always cool to share with the different booths that I went into to talk because they look at you and they have their reservations or preconceived notions until they hear stats about your particular platform. Then they change their tune and disposition. And that happened a few times at the Amplify section. But overall, in terms of walking around, getting cards, actually speaking to the president of Mashable, had a great conversation with him. Yeah, had a great conversation with him about content creation and circulation, frequency, implementation, and I got all that in about 5 minutes. It was a great conversation with him in regards to strategy for content creation, all that stuff. That was cool. That panel also had the creative strategist of New York Times on there, and also had the individual. I need to get her card because I want to make sure I mention that on the show. She was the individual from the managing director for the Telly Awards, TELLY. She was there on that panel as well as the creative strategist for New York Times, and Eric from Mashable, which his card is actually right here. But yeah, so I was able to talk to the New York Times lady. She was dope. The managing director for Telly, she was really dope. And Eric was really, really dope too. So that was cool. I did speak to Rob on and off at his booth. I didn't get a chance to speak to Steve Goldstein from Amplify Media because by the time I turn around, he was already gone. I guess when you're busy, you got to go. That's cool. So I think those made a big difference for me in attending the show, having those conversations. I think that stuck out at me. And some of the booths that I got a chance to check out their microphones. That was cool. Shure was there, and a whole bunch of other companies were there. Stevie Wonder was there at a particular area, and amplified, sitting down listening to music. And once you see, and I realized, I realized that I'm not starstruck. I guess I don't know if that's good or bad, but so I'm trying to work that out psychologically in my mind, because when Stevie Wonder was there, I was like, oh, it's Stevie Wonder, cool, you know. I didn't go, Stevie Wonder, oh my God. Yeah, I didn't do all that. I didn't do all that. But I don't know if that's good or bad. But he was there listening to music, grooving to some tunes. He was sitting down on one of the studio things already set up or whatever, and he was changing the tunes. And he had probably his PR guy, sharing some information with him back and forth and whatever, that particular thing, and that was cool. And I was like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And then they also had another section on the amplified section, which is where I spent a good portion of my time, where it was almost like a training area where there was a whole bunch of chairs, and I think they called it Mix with the Masters. So these are probably the individuals who won so many awards for their work, in terms of mixing tracks, or the sound engineers for a particular band or whatever. So they had that section. I caught a few words and passing by. A lot of walking around. The first day I was tired. The second day I was more invigorated because I knew the layout, so I didn't have to spend too much time trying to figure it out. I think it was a good show for me to go experience, even if I'm only going this one time, which I may go next year. I don't know. We'll see. But I enjoyed the fact that I got a feel for it, right? And I also want to attend other conventions that are necessarily just outside of what we cover, tech, gaming, and entertainment, just to see exactly how they do things. So I can broaden my perspective, and who knows, certain panels at those other conventions that I think that are outside of our genre of what we talk about can still be beneficial to some of the things, and new ideas and new things to cover. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I mean, definitely an 8 for me. I did enjoy my time going there. A lot of conversation, a lot of connects, a lot of cards, a lot of emails flying. Lots, which you already know how that goes, especially just coming out of TwitchCon. And so yeah, overall, I think it was really dope that you were there and I was there, and we were doing our thing. So
Yeah, a lot of going on. A lot.
lots of going on.
It is. Oh, I was very lucky because I got to meet from Aver Media, and I feel like I butchered his name every time I said
Francois
it.
Chang,
Yeah, Francois. He was
my
really
guy,
nice, super cool dude, and laid
my
back,
guy. Yeah,
showing me some of their
he's chill.
Aver Media Easter eggs over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun to be able to talk to him and meet him and tell him thank you. Actually, personally, I think that always makes a huge difference, because you get to the point where you
Absolutely.
read these emails and it's just kind of like, even though you're not copy and pasting it, you don't want to ever give that off. So very
Right.
appreciative and thankful for him to taking the time to talk to me. There's a lot of people that was coming in and out, and he really did take the time to say, say what's up, get to know me. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dope. He's really dope. Yeah, so definitely fun times at the cons. Guys chilling in the chat. Thank you so much. A couple of things I did see. I guess any other thing that's looming. Weather was great. I guess I'll say that. Definitely enjoyed the weather. I don't know what the weather is going to be for the expo coming this week that I'll be attending towards the end of the week. So that's happening also. I think that's 2 days. That should be fun. Don't know what's going to come out of that. I still feel that's what we were talking about before. Just thinking about it, is I feel like the one coming this week is a little outside of what we do, maybe because I have a desire to make it part of what we do. Um, by way of content creation. But I really want to see where that goes this week. So next week is definitely going to be more expo recaps of stuff. So that's what's going on with that. Yeah, so definitely in technology, how to protect yourself from crack and cocaine. I'm sorry. I had to let that go. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
like,
try to
where are
resist.
you reading that?
I try to resist. But anyway, sorry. But anyway, there's this I guess this virus that's happening real time right now for Wi-Fi things. It's a crack, a KRACK, and there's different ways that you can try to the best of your ability to protect yourself from it. So I'm going to have a link in the show notes for that. I guess individuals are trying to tap into your network outside of your house. And once they get inside of the network, your Wi-Fi network, I think it's related to the WPA2, I think it is. And there's a whole bunch of conversations and blogs and news posts surrounding this particular virus. And some companies are doing something directly about it. Some companies are doing damage control and not necessarily pushing any new firmware or any new updates to their router. But this is something that a lot of companies are fully aware that this is a thing. And the way they manage it with their customers is going to be interesting to see and watch and hear. So that's what's going on with that. So I have a link in the show notes about that. The show notes will be at theshowradio.info. That's where you find that. Next thing I have, any comments on that? I'm sorry, before I go to the next thing, any comments on that, Daniella?
So like, this blows my mind is when people want to use open Wi-Fi.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't trust it. I never will, and that's what crack mainly aims towards is Wi-Fi. If you don't use Wi-Fi, you don't have anything to worry about, nothing whatsoever. But this is centered mainly around Wi-Fi connections. It doesn't matter about your device or whatever it is. It's just Wi-Fi, and that was a huge thing at TwitchCon that people wanted to be able to like, oh, is there free Wi-Fi available? Why would you want to use the open Wi-Fi there? Do you understand that people like that are attending? There might be one or two, which is more than enough, that will might want to have some ill intentions and to snoop around to see what you're looking at, to see what you're doing. Like that's like a perfect opportunity for them. I don't get it.
Absolutely.
Always be safe, people. Don't use free open Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So if you can RJ45, RJ, whatever the new RJ format is, if you want to use that, definitely do that. Connect, link your units. For the most part, I guess we can talk about setups. So here, I'm connected directly to the unit, this laptop here. It's not via Wi-Fi. Everything internally is connected to the line with the exception of the TV and the Chromecast, obviously, and then the tablets and, one tablet here, three tablets are on Wi-Fi internally, but they're not open to the public, right? They're internal. What's your setup like right now, Danielle?
Pretty much everything for the most thing, all our consoles and PC are set up wired. And pretty much only thing that's really wireless is our phone hookups and our one iPad. But I periodically change, the encryption, change the passwords every few months randomly. So I'm never ever too concerned about it. And it's just basically whoever. It's also Mac filtered. So if your Mac isn't with something that I already have in there, oh well, you're not getting it.
Right. So in order for me to have access to your network, you'd have to put my MAC address and I'd have to know the password to actually get into your network.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the way you have it set up. Okay, cool. So that's what's going on with that. Also, I did see how to install Kodi on your Amazon Fire Stick at your own risk. If you want to do that, Kodi is definitely fun. I know you could put Kodi on Linux. You could put Kodi on Windows. Kodi is really dope. Kodi in and of itself is an application that is fine until you, depending on what you install on it, that'll make it illegal, right? So downloading Kodi in and of itself is fine, but depending on the applications you put on it will make Kodi illegal. Some companies try to sell Kodi with those applications pre-installed, which is why you see a lot of news surrounding Kodi, not because of Kodi, but because of the companies that are installing Kodi with those plugins that are movie related, whether it's Genesis or Exodus. I don't know. I guess the person was really a fan of Bible stuff, but those things are named after Bible books, a good portion of them, or whatever. But yeah, what do you got on that, Daniela?
Nothing.
Sweet. We'll move on. So that's what's going on with that. So be careful with the Fire Stick installation with the Kodi stuff. At your own risk, however you feel like using it, that's all on you. Next thing, I definitely want to shout out to Logitech. Logitech is like, the player that has the ball the last 4 seconds and they make the shot. They're the buzzer beater individuals. Clutch. They came in and they sent us, right? I can say that, right?
Yeah.
I can say that they sent us the C922 camera webcam, and this is what I'm using right now. So I know it has some autofocus stuff or whatever, but definitely I'm really excited about it. It's definitely going to open up new things. And I know you're hot off the plane, so you didn't get a chance to really set it up or anything like that. But I'm sure. Okay, so first question I have: what are you running now?
The C920 Pro.
And it looks really good.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean it's
so
very interesting because to switch back and forth, I'm holding it. I have it right here. To switch back and forth in between your video feed and my video feed, your
word.
colors do look richer. I don't know if we have the same settings or not. Mine are just the default settings. I haven't really
Right.
played around with it.
I have no
Um,
way to change it. Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm running Linux right now, so I have no way to necessarily change the settings, with the exception of what we did just before we recorded. I just changed the bandwidth to HD, and you said the blacks got blacker or whatever. You agree?
yeah, well,
You agree with
yeah.
that?
Yeah, it did. Like even your red of your shirt is just a little bit more vibrant than whatever you had it
Pops.
before. It does.
Right.
And your shadows are a little bit darker and it's nice. It's like a richer tone.
Right.
Mine
So I
looks a
look
little
forward
bit
to
washed out
see.
right now.
Don't you be- it won't be like that for long. So a couple of things I definitely want to mention about it. I'm glad we're doing this real time on this episode 375 of the show radio. Definitely high definition video, as you see. Autofocus. It has, I think it has the seven. I'm gonna get the box. Hold on. So we can do this real time. So it has a 1080p 30 frames, 720p 60 frames, and according to Daniela, it's looking really dope. So definitely shout outs to Logitech for sending that just before TwitchCon. It was interesting. I'm like, was that planned?
Maybe.
If,
I wish
if
they
it
had a bigger
was,
presence on the showroom floor. I think there was like one little Logitech thing.
if it was, that was amazing. So in terms of okay, so I have an external application called Cheese webcam booth. That's what it's called on Linux, and I could record some video content for that. So obviously, I'm recording video right now through the stream, but I definitely want to do a couple of 3-minute, 5-minute pieces of different things I'm thinking about, and with this camera, and then go from there. But this is the ultimate test right now because we're streaming, and I think it's looking mighty nice, and I can't wait to see Daniela do her change
I
really
have
soon. So that's
to.
what I'm looking
Well, okay, that's another thing. So I can't. You have the good impressions, and it's obviously looks really nice in yours. But I'm gonna be like a little bit honest on this thing. I think I need to really see the difference because I'm comparing it just by the numbers, but just by the information between the C920 and the 922. I don't see too much of a difference, if anything.
Not major
Um,
change.
yeah, like I think the one thing I noticed is background replacement. So I got to go and check and see what that's about because that's
Right.
on the 922. But everything else it looks almost exact to the
Identical, right?
920. And like I think I want to
So
have them
when do
set up
you
side by side to see the video
yeah,
the
absolutely. Absolutely. One of the
comparison of
things
it.
that I noticed that because I'm it's a big upgrade for me because I'm going from a C625 or whatever that was, right? Which didn't have autofocus, barely had HD, and it didn't do the encoding process built in. It didn't have that. So one of the things that we were talking about before is as far as audio is concerned and the stress that it's adding on a PC, which right now I'm talking about a 625 versus doing everything inside the unit, and which is less stress on the actual PC. So I'm trying to so to me I'm really monitoring the difference into how the video quality is going to come out as well as the audio based on last week, right? So
Hmm.
we're gonna actually revisit that. So for you, it's not as a major change, and I was a tad bit confused because um maybe it was me, I don't know, but I did see that there was like a C922X or something like that. I don't know if that's an actual product or maybe it's just the way it was It was labeled on Amazon. Then I saw the 922 and then some other stuff. So there was a little bit of confusion there for me. But according to this thing, um, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. But the next one up from there, if you want to go all out, is the Logitech 4K camera. I think that's 200. I think that's 199.99. I think this one is 79.99 to 99 if I'm looking at the stuff on Amazon correctly. So if you have the budget for that, definitely consider getting this camera. If you see the difference from our last, you know, 6 to 8 shows, definitely shout outs and thank you, Logitech, for the awesome, awesome, awesome camera. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. Any other comments on that?
I'm still excited. I've only ever used Logitech cameras, so
Seriously?
it's funny. Yeah, I like every single webcam I've ever owned has been by Logitech. I think my first one was, oh man, the Logitech Orbit. It was the one that looked like an eyeball. It had a really
Nice.
long stem, and then the bulb for the webcam, and it moved around, and it followed you. It was really cool and really creepy at the same time, but it was my first streaming webcam. It was my first cam for everything, and I just stuck with Logitech. They just do stuff right.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
thank you, Logitech.
So yeah, so that was interesting. Surprise because I didn't expect it. So that was cool. The next thing is I definitely want you to, I guess, spend some time here and what you saw during the show floor. I know Razer was there. Definitely talk to us about the Razer. I don't know if it's Kiyo or Kaio, or and then the Razer Siren X, which is the webcam and the um, microphone.
So, oh my goodness, I can't believe we go from one webcam to another. Um,
Absolutely.
the Razer Kaio was actually really, or Kiyo. It's funny because I pronounced it both ways, Kaio and Kiyo. I didn't get a straight answer about which way is the correct way to pronounce it. Kind of depends on who you were talking to. Uh, it was actually really, really cool. Um, I believe it is the only webcam that has a built-in ring light built around um, the webcam, and it had like 12 different settings and brightness. And the showroom floor itself was really, really pretty dark. It was like really well lit in some areas, but most of the area it was pretty dark. So they had it display. So they had the webcam, and then they had this other side laptop set up on the side that had OBS and then game capture, so that for your typical streamer, this is what you would get. This is what you would see, and it was very bright. It was very clear, and even though this light was like in your face,
Yeah.
it
Talk to me about
also
that.
didn't feel too overpowering, even in a dark setting. Um, it is not your end all be all solution as far if you use green screens, because it is the sole source light that's coming in straight at you. You will still cast a shadow behind you on your green screen, so you will at least need to have one more light source that cancels out that shadow that you'll be casting behind you. But it was really nice. It worked really well. It wasn't too harsh, even in the dark settings. It didn't feel like it was like killing me to have that in my face. But
Right.
it still had 12 different settings and brightness on there, which helped a lot. So I thought it was really cool, and it was pretty clear from what they had on the showroom floor, and I was pretty impressed by that. I don't believe they have that. Is that I can't remember if it was a webcam or if it was the mic that they had, but one of them hasn't been released yet, so you can pre-order it. I think it was like 99.99,
Mm.
and they had like some special TwitchCon code, so you can get like a certain percentage off. Very smart marketing on their hand. Um, yeah, that was actually
Okay.
really, really cool, and maybe we'll try it out and see how it is. I think it's just that ring light. As far as the camera quality, I think it's just it matched the standard of what's out there now. As far as the 1080 by 30 frames or 720 by 60, I believe that has just become like the standard. It's the ring light that just makes that huge difference.
All right. So question. Okay, so on your camera right now, do you have
Mm-hmm.
rings? Not necessarily rings. Okay, I should. Do you have lights built into your camera right now?
No. Well, it
Okay,
has
so
like I
there's
think the only light that's on top of the webcam right now for the Logitech C920 is the blue one to show that hey, I'm on.
okay,
So that's kind of it, but
okay,
nothing for as a light source.
okay. So you're in for a treat. Because the 922 has lights on it. Not a ring, but it has lights on it, which is why I put them like right next to each other and by way of bullet points. Um, but yeah, so it's not a ring per se, but I'm really curious to see the different settings of the ring. Um, maybe if we can reach out to Razer and see what they have to say about that. That'd be dope if they show us some love in regards to that. So that's that. So microphone was dope.
The microphone, I kind of want to say that almost every booth that I saw so far that had a streaming capabilities had
Right.
that Razer mic, and that blew me away, because I I I don't think I heard any streamer said that they complained that somebody in their chat complained about background noise.
Right.
So with those Razer mics, what was it called
Yeah,
again?
because I think it has
Siren.
siren. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
it's
has
like
built-in noise
it has a
in there.
super cardioid, so it's a tighter cone as to what is capturing your voice, and it
Right.
like captured very little background noise. And it's not like at the streaming stations, like all of the mics are set up to be like this close. They were set up probably maybe anywhere from a foot to maybe a foot and a half away from the streamer, and the mic was facing towards them.
Right.
And I was reading people's chats. I was being a little bit evasive because I was very, very curious. And you know, in the chats, they could hear the streamer perfectly fine. The background noise wasn't overpowering them, and nobody was complaining. I thought that was really, really cool. Because it doesn't have, it's not like the Blue Yeti that I'm using, or majority of other mics, where you can change your different settings to be cardioid, or I can't even think of the other ones right now. Omni. It just had that super cardioid option, and that's it. And it just captured that. It did have a built-in port, so you can listen to your live feedback of yourself to see how loud you are, and to hear if there's any background noise. It didn't offer a whole lot in that aspect of being able to have physical control over what's happening
Got it.
on the mic itself. But it looked really cool. It definitely falls into a very affordable setting as far as the mics that are available out there. So
Very cool.
that was interesting too. And then their discount code also applied to their mic as well, which was $99, I believe.
Right. Right.
Definitely on the affordable spectrum for streamers. I wouldn't say, I don't know if I would use it if you do podcasting or if you record music, but if you're a streamer, I think that's a very viable option.
Yeah, I think for that kind of setup would be Google Hangouts, real quick conversation, quick meetings kind of thing. I think that fit my stuff. Streaming, I can't really stream on my PC right now, which I'm not necessarily. I don't think I miss it, but those quick applications, quick phone calls, Skype conversations, I think would be fall in my wheelhouse in relation to that kind of thing. Yeah, so I don't know why Warframe was under the technology section. I just removed it. I know you saw that. Yeah, just that kind of a thing. So that's what's going on with technology news. Next thing I did see entertainment news. Netflix aims to release 80 original films over the course of 2018. What happened to Monday? I definitely want to talk about that. Quick review. What do you think about Netflix? Still on top of that?
I try to be on top of that.
Word.
Try to be. But I
Word.
like your little quick review there because I enjoyed what happened to Monday.
Did you really?
I did.
It was dope.
It
It was
was
dope.
definitely a very interesting concept, and
It's sad.
it was
Tough.
really, really sad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want, I think I caught on to what was happening and why it was happening, well, not the full reason why, and that
Right.
little twist at the end there. But I kind of understood where it was going, and I wanted to believe that wasn't it because I'm thinking of these sisters, and I'm like, no,
So,
Monday.
yeah, so let's set it up as a, I guess, our synopsis. Seven sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
According to the law, you could only have, was it one child,
Yep, one child per
right?
household.
One child per household and seven sisters, and they could only go out of the day that represented their name. So Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera. And Monday was technically the first, right? I think that's the way
Yes.
they kind of laid it out.
Yes, and they were
Um,
identical sisters.
yeah, yeah. So and yeah, so that's as far as we could go with it because everything else will kind of go into the story and that whole dynamic of teamwork and working together and sharing information and knowledge um, on a daily basis was an interesting thing. I'll just leave it there. But overall, I think it was great. I really liked it.
You
I
know,
really
as
liked it.
as far out as it was, I think maybe in 100 years that could be a very possible future for us because
Wow.
like why these rules of one child per household was made was because to keep up with food production with the world's population continuously growing, we've had to resort to genetically modified organisms or GMO foods, which cause birth defects and cause women to have like these twins, triplets, quadruplets, or centuplets being born. That was pushing this world overpopulation. It created this, and then you have these seven identical sisters, which obviously their family did not want to, be arrested or anything like that or anything bad happened to them, so they could only go out one day a week and they only had one identity among the seven of them. That part that
Great
can't
movie.
possibly happen, but the whole overpopulation and and birth defects due to GMO, I feel that is completely possible.
Mm. It was definitely a great movie. And then the child rule thing, I think wasn't it a part of Asia that did that?
China.
It was China, right? Is
Yep.
that's I don't know if that's not an effect or not, right? Because
I
the
don't know.
children that were born that were more than two or whatever it was, they had to live outside the camp. Their families would send them out so they can stay alive
And that's why
or
China
whatever.
mostly wants boys, not girls.
Yeah, so that whole thing. So great movie. Definitely a lot of perspective there. Whatever. So Punisher, that's taking place November 17th. It's not a coincidence for that day because there's another superhero movie happening on that same weekend.
I know you want to say it.
What? What do I want to say? what? What? What do you mean?
That trailer was awesome.
Oh my goodness. It was everything. It was everything.
That was okay. We're talking about Black Panther here rather than
Oh
it
my
being just like super
goodness.
elusive. The Black Panther trailer was so
It was
good.
everything.
So good. So out of all of them so far right now, I'm going to say Black Panther takes it hands down, even over like Justice League, over Wonder Woman, over anything. Oh my goodness. It was so good.
Yeah.
It gave me
Yeah. If
chills.
if you have not seen the trailer yet, definitely definitely go see that. So that's what's going on with entertainment news. Um, okay, so what else? What else? What else? Stranger Things is the 27th of October, right? That's this
Yep,
Friday.
that's soon.
I know that's not here, so definitely thinking out loud. Definitely the next movie I definitely want to watch soon would be Wheelman. That's on Netflix. I want to check that out because I love cars and I want to see exactly what they did with that movie. And that's really all I have off the top. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I gotta go and see what else is available there. I only now during this trip while we are on the plane was I able to watch the Castlevania And it pains me because there's only 4 episodes and they're like 23 minutes long. And I'm like, I need more, please. Why
It's
would
only
you only
4
give me 4?
episodes?
Yeah, it's only 4 episodes. Super painful. Because I want more. And it was good. It was so good. Ugh.
So Punisher's 13, Castlevania's 4, Stranger Things, I'm not sure how many that is, but I got to finish the first one. I got to wrap that so I can get ready for Friday. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that. E3 recently revised their logo, that thing, and EA shut down Visceral Games, and that was somewhat of a shock for some, and not necessarily for others. That particular studio is known for Dead Space and Battlefield Hardline, which Battlefield Hardline I think was a pretty dope game. And I guess they're trying. Their next project is going to be a Star Wars game based on the news that I saw. Any comments on those things?
Another Star Wars game. This one didn't even really come out yet. Come on.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. It always breaks my heart to see a studio shut down, because it's not even necessarily about the games that could have been continued to be built on, or other sequels. It's just that those people, they need jobs.
Yeah.
They have families
Absolutely.
to feed.
Absolutely.
That's what I think of.
Which
And that's what
is,
makes me sad.
and the other conversation that surrounds that is the gaming industry. You see a lot of people moving into different, areas, and the shift and the change happens very, very quickly, right? So it's like, what is the motivation for someone to consider a career in the gaming industry, and what does that look like long term? And I think that's a question that keeps coming up in our circles and as far as conversation. If you don't necessarily have your own brand, or if you're not freelancing on a regular basis, if you're not creating content that's adding value back to you, that's monetized value on a regular basis, so all those conversations come into play when it relates to the gaming industry or the industry as a whole. So stuff to think about there. Next thing I did see, a Switch has surpassed 2 million units sold in the US since launch, and when combined with sales from the 3DS product family, as well as the recently released Super NES Classic, Nintendo hardware accounted for 2/3 of the month's total hardware sold. Are you surprised?
No, not really.
Yeah.
That's to be expected. Come on, Nintendo. It's like their whole other world.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
doing their
even.
thing.
They will always do their own thing, and I will always say that they just. I don't compare them to Sony or Xbox anymore. Not even in their numbers, because Nintendo's gonna be doing good no matter what. That's how I feel. That's how I'm always gonna feel. I don't see Nintendo ever going anywhere or having to ever file bankruptcy and just disappearing. Nintendo will be Nintendo, and everybody's gonna love them, no matter what.
All the all the time. Nintendo will get its very own version of the Super Nintendo 3DS XL next month. This nice, very branded SNES thing, and it really looks nice based on the pictures. That was cool. And I also did see something for tiny arcade cabinets. There's a Kickstarter going on. I think it's still live. Let's just check the link on that real quick. And I don't know why it's showing me a private connection thing, but I don't want to click on that anymore. But I don't know where it'll take me. It'll probably take me to some crack that I don't want. That I don't want. So I'm not even going to go there. Tiny Arcade Cabinets 2018. Nintendo adds wireless USB support. That was like a super unannounced type of update to their firmware, I think. That happened. And the next thing I did see was the list of some upcoming titles for the Xbox backwards compatibility stuff. And that's pretty exciting because it's the first generation, if you want to say that, Xbox titles actually coming. Not all of the titles, but some of the titles are actually going to be coming to the platform for the Xbox. You know what? I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but you know what? I can't be mad at Xbox right now. I can't. I can be frustrated with certain decisions, certain things that I haven't seen yet, certain things that's not necessarily announced that I hope they announce in the near future. But there's some things that they're doing right now that I can't really, really be mad at, Daniela.
Do you want to be mad at them?
There's always a reason to find some tension, right? I don't like this team because I don't like this player because I mean the tension is always fun, right? It's all for the love of competition.
Okay, so
But
what is it that like you just can't be mad at them about right now? Like what is it that they're doing that's impressing you so far?
I like the fact that they're continually adding to the backwards compatibility list. I like that. I like the fact that they're making more decisions to open up the system a little bit more, right? To they're being more inclusive about certain things. I like that. And the game selection has always been pretty good overall between the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. And the fact that they're even considering adding new titles from the first Xbox, I think that's really dope. And also the fact that they're making it an easy, very, very smooth transition between the Xbox One to the Xbox One X. I think that's really, really cool. And the fact that they just made some major changes to some, depending on how long you've been on the platform or the last time you turn on the platform. I think that's exciting to see the changes that they're making when you turn on the system. I think that's fantastic. There's really nothing that I really can be upset about when it comes to them, with the exception of waiting for a long time for the next Halo game. Outside of that, I like what they're doing. I like it. I like it. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
No, good. Then people can stop calling you, a PlayStation fanboy.
But yeah, they're still gonna call me that regardless. So a couple of things: Halo developer 343 Industries is updating Halo, the Master Chief Collection, to resolve lingering issues with the game's matchmaking system and improve game performance on Xbox One and Xbox One X. I like that. I like that. What do you think about that, Daniela?
I guess that's really good. I can't have much of a
I know
comment
because
on
you don't
it
play Halo.
considering I don't play Halo. Yeah,
I know.
Halo. It's like,
I know.
yay, good for you
I know.
guys. Super happy for
Yay!
you.
That's what's happening with
Yay.
that. But you did play Batman Arkham anything,
Yeah.
at least. Okay, so you did play that. So Rocksteady apparently has this upcoming major project that will make us lose our minds. Okay, so this is the part where we're actually going to speculate what that is. Do you think it's another Batman series, or what do you think Rocksteady could possibly take hold of that's going to be amazing that we're going to lose our minds on?
If you get to go through Gotham through the point of view of Joker,
Hmm.
that'd be
Okay,
great. That'd
that's
be
interesting.
awesome. Man, there's so many different ways that you can take that. But if they're going to continue with the Batman trend, and it's from Joker's perspective, and just even if it's like maybe building on the origin of Batman and how he came to be the psycho that we all know. Oh my
Right.
goodness, I
That's
think
gonna be
that's going to
cool.
do really well. That'd be great. Uh, but yeah, I think you can almost take that in so many different ways. Because even if it had nothing to do with Batman or DC in general,
Right.
like you can create a game about like psychosis, kind of, kind of like how oh my goodness, what is that game that I just played not too long ago? That suffered with psychosis and depression and the
With the lady.
audio. What is that?
With the lady.
Yeah, I like
you're like
I lost
you're
the
like
name of
drawing a
the
heavy
game.
blank right now.
I am, but to go along that lines
Psychosis.
of just losing your mind and what that does to you, and that spiral that it
Hellblade.
pulls you through, and
Hellblade.
dealing with that, I think that'd be really, really, really cool too. I don't know how you would create a game directly around that, but
So you're
I
talking about Hellblade, right?
yes, there you go.
Okay.
But like that one did a really good job on it. But losing your mind, that's all they're
It's
gonna give
crazy.
you is just lose your mind. It's like you, obviously you're gonna think crazy. I don't know what else you would think of.
Yeah, so I'm thinking what is missing in our current game selection today that Rocksteady feels that we would lose our mind if we received it. And that's what I was thinking. So for me, Contra has always been a game that I loved, right? way back in the day. But I don't know if they would be able to do a Contra, right? So it'd have to be a game that's been missing for a long time that they feel we have a need for. So we've had a lot of Batmans. We have a Spider-Man that's coming out, right, for PlayStation. So it's not that, because that'd be really weird to have two Spider-Man games out at the same time, which it wouldn't be because the development would be 3+ years before they start promoting the game and all that. So it would have to be an adventure game. In my mind, it'd be an adventure game that is missing from our current thing. If it's a big open world thing, that's going to be interesting. That's going to take some time. So now you're going to be competing with games like the Destinies and the Divisions and any games that would be considered really, really, really open. So yeah, that would be an interesting thing to see. So a lot of speculations with that. Let's see how much more news they have coming out with that. So last but not least is the Xbox stuff. As I was saying before, I was really impressed with the changes that they've made. If you actually took the time to think of all the different changes that they made on the dashboard, it's been a lot of changes. I think it got to a point where the Xbox started feeling like the PlayStation 3 for me, where every time I turned it on, it was an update. If you remember that season for PlayStation 3, I don't want you to be upset at me because I said that, but there was a season where every time you turn on the PlayStation on a daily basis, there was an update waiting for you for something. And then until they actually implemented the patch updates that you didn't have to wait to turn it on, and you could do it while the system was sleeping, that kind of thing, which was a great change. But the main thing I really appreciated with the Xbox fall dashboard update is the fact that you'll be able to use your own webcam, which they talked about. The themes are good. The menu systems are good. The layout, they're finally getting to a point where they're embracing the minimalistic approach to doing stuff on the dashboard. I don't care about your ads. I don't care about all the stuff on the dashboard. Give me the opportunity to make the changes that I want to make so I can have a nice, very, very clean layout. And I think they're finally getting there.
Yeah, because their dashboard I think is a giant mess. I've never liked their dashboard. Well, no, their 360 dashboard wasn't bad, but this, what it was, or prior to this update, it was just a mess. I wasn't a fan of it. It's too cluttered, too messy, too complicated to use. Simplifying it,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I want to know, is that because like the use of being able to use whatever webcam you want, is that a clear sign that like we really don't want to support Connect? We're so sorry. Connect's out of
It
there.
could be a clear sign. It could be a clear sign. The only thing is, I know that their Mixer is their big thing now. So the plug and play directly from Mixer is on their platform. Twitch took a back seat for their stuff. You really have to go, do some extra jumping of hoops to actually stream your Xbox through that system the way it is. Now it's really about Mixer on that platform, whether you like it or not. So outside of things like that, I understand because you're marketing your own thing. I get it. But the changes that they made, I was so excited. I turned it on. I did all the updates. I looked at it and I was like, this is good. I'm really feeling the changes. So it's a step forward for them, especially for the easy transition to prepare for the next console, which doesn't necessarily have like a big headliner as far as a game is concerned, outside of Cuphead and maybe the PUBG stuff, which is probably the two biggest things, two biggest games that we know of right now, and also games that are really getting enhanced, that are getting a lot of attention, like Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's going to be big for them as well. Outside of that, I don't know. Any other games that we're going to be able to play with backwards compatibility, that's going to be a thing. Upscaling, making 1080p nicer. But it is what it is. You're going to have stuff to play. It's not going to be a lot of new stuff, but you're going to have stuff to play.
They're going to keep doing their thing. They're just going to improve. I mean, I'm glad that, I feel like they're just taking some, hints from their competitors. Sony.
Right.
So like,
Absolutely.
look, people obviously like your stuff a little bit more. We'll just, maybe add our own little twist to it. Obviously.
Yeah. So aside from that, definitely appreciate the things that they're doing, and that's pretty much all we have. That's all we have for the show. That's all we have. I definitely want to throw this in. So Danielle, you can read this, and then I'll figure out how I want to answer it.
So, email question from Khalif. Why haven't you had the sexy Khalif Adams back on the show?
That's
I
an
don't know,
interesting question.
Khalif. Why haven't you come on our show? Come back to our show.
Yeah. Why have when we received an invite on your show? What's up with that? Well, so we can answer that question, with a question. But definitely the fam over there at spawnon.me. Definitely check them out. Good peeps. Good fam over there. Always a lot of love. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, so questions are the thing. Questions are the thing now. So if I see the question before the show goes live, whenever that is, I'm definitely going to read it, keep it clean. But yeah, as far as the show's concerned, Khalif, you're more than welcome. We just have to pick a day that works for you. And we definitely want some love on your side as well, because we love going on your platform as well. So that's where we are with that. So that's all we have for this episode 375 of the show radio. The show radio.info/Twitch is where to follow and get notified when we go live. And of course, definitely check out our Facebook page, the show radio.info/Facebook, and make sure you follow Daniella at Miss DJM.
Also, just never miss a show. And you can do that by subscribing to our podcasts at theshowradio.info. And you know what? If you got questions, kind of like Khalif did, you can drop us a line. You can email at us, community@theshowradio.info. And we may even read your question on the show. And you can also follow Andrew on Twitter at Uriah, URIYYA. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace, guys. What is that's a new dance? That's good.
Oh man. So I blanked it on something too. We're still live. We'll just leave it on for a little bit longer.
We're still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Bring it out?
You want to bring it down now? Bring it down now.
No. What are we talking about? Is this stuff
I
that we want to talk live
completely. Oh, we good. Well, yeah. This isn't something. I kind of forgot to talk about, like the updates that's coming to Twitch. We could either save that for next time. It was just the keynote stuff at TwitchCon. But the stuff that they're going to be coming out with is coming out November, next month.
All right, so we can push it for next show.
Yeah, we can. They'll be in the next show.
Maybe right on time. Maybe right on time.
They got some good stuff. I didn't go to keynote things. I don't know. And any con, I'm never really interested in the keynote stuff. I'm like, I know I'll find the information. Like, it's kind of like attending conventions and people who sit in the hall to watch a trailer that's going to be posted on YouTube 2 minutes after they see it. That's how I feel about keynotes. It's just like, I don't want to stand in line to go and sit in this packed room so that I can get, footnotes like as soon as you leave. It's going to be posted on Twitch's blog anyway, so I'll just go and do my own thing.
I feel you. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's the only thing I kind of spaced it on. But yeah, that's all good. Yay! Now we made up for our Sunday that we missed.
Yes, absolutely. So are we off now before I say anything crazy?
No, okay, we get off. All right, for everybody that's listening, we're going to be off. Goodbye, guys.
Okay. Peace.